Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining us today in our second episode of Ingest Quest. My name is Anthony Amato, and today we'll be exploring Spelljammer. I'll be playing Augustus Gloop, the Abyssal Tiefling Warlock, and generally greasy dude. With us we have Benjamin Scott of Puffin Forest. Give a wave. You can find Ben on YouTube by searching for Puffin Forest. He's playing Nub Nub, the Boppy Druid. Next we have Megan R. Miller, fiction author of The Chronicles of Drazul, 404 Killer Not Found, and more, available on Amazon. She's also a contributor from Nerdarch.com, and she will be playing Sirkas, the Arkanoid Void Warlock. Next up, we have Nate, the Nerdarch of Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds. He has been a creator and partner over on Nerdarchy for 4 years now and mostly works on adventure and homebrew products, the storefront on Nerdarchy.com, Patreon awards, and travels to conventions. He will be playing Five Hand Stan, the Mantid Arcane Trickster. Kienata is our streamer, and Kienata is a streamer and contributor to Nerdarchy, and you can find him on twitch.tv/Kienata. Lastly, our DM, Doug Verhoevick, Nerder-in-Chief at Nerdarchy.com. He will guide us and game master us through the world of Endless Horizons Spelljammer. Take it over, Doug.
All right, Nerder Doug here from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds, and like Anthony said, we're playing 5th edition Spelljammer today with these fine nerds. Before we get started, I wanted to reiterate our house rules that we might have forgot a little bit last time. All of you start with inspiration. Each session, everybody will start with inspiration to use throughout the session, and you can also use your inspiration to give me disadvantage on a roll if you so choose. We're also using some alternate hit dice rules that Nerdarchy came up with. That'll be an upcoming book on the store, and those are the house rules. Last time, the Ingest Quest team at the organization of their producers, the Black Forest Investment Group, traveled to Neros 4 in Nerospace for the Neroscape Pursuit, where they were entered into a cooking challenge at Flavortown. That went well overall. They did manage to win, and also did some crowd control and saved some lives.
And a few people died, but anyway, we're just moving on.
But you saved many more. The celebration surrounding the Neroscape Pursuit and your victory at Flavortown lasted well into the night. The great race was not without controversy, as several competitors deviated from the race to intervene when they spotted a slaver ship right in Neros 4's atmosphere. You were following along in the action from a VIP loge that you won access to the last time from winning the food challenge. The race did continue, and the First Turnian League appears to have claimed the win. But the details of the end of the night are a little hazy because the after party, sponsored by Hark, the ubiquitous arcane source review platform, and also one of your sponsors, was raucous. Several crew from the Illrigger came, including Lagdouche and Chodak, the ship's chief officer. Even the vessel's singular other passenger, Kieran Vol, left the ship to attend. The teenaged human boy spends nearly all of his time on the ship and has no apparent duties or responsibilities on board. Oddly, he has a fist-sized orb of smooth green crystal that constantly orbits his head. The Hark reviews of the food challenge, at least insofar as the team's winning presentation, were very positive. But the debacle that ensued with the gnomish team's aberrant entree is probably a career ender for them. After reprovisioning at Neros Gate, Captain Lorne takes Illrigger into wild space for the next destination on the itinerary arranged through your producers. You are to make your way to Azor space, where the natives of the planet Germania make a yearly pilgrimage to tour a volcano where their animist culture believes their chief deity dwells. On the slopes of the volcano, sacred plants grow from the fertile loam of the volcano, drawing the nomadic tribes for harvesting and cultural rituals. Your producers' market research shows promising interest in this remote black rock. That means they don't have spelljamming technology to learn more about their culture, as well as the potential unusual culinary properties of the plant life there. As Illrigger cruises through Nerospace towards the Crystal Shell and the Phlogiston beyond, what is everyone doing on board?
I will be putting my new pets back into their terrarium when they get out.
Mm-hmm. They're skittering out.
For me, I'm gonna turn into a mouse and then do rounds going around the ship, just like scouting for any danger. And then if I see any food that's been dropped, I eat it.
Absolutely.
I promised that this was already in my head to do before he said that, but I'm in engineering building webs to catch vermin.
Right,
Like,
well
while
then.
I'm waiting to catch vermin, I'm knitting sweaters for people.
Well, Nub Nub is avoiding any webs and totally is fine and doesn't get caught.
I believe I'll probably be sitting around in my cabin, lounging with a nice beverage, taking some notes on proper preparation, and seeing if maybe there's a way I could fix that gnomish recipe that they made. I feel like there's a way you could make that so to have just a few less mouths.
Okay.
I would say that I'm probably about 2.5 feet away from Fitzroy, kind of leaning over and asking if he wants his drink cooled or if I can get him something else, or, you know, I can get some ice for that if you want, sir. Would you like
Well,
another, or some flan?
Some flan.
Yes, sir.
That I really appreciate the offer. I'm quite fine. At some point, we're going to have to get everybody together. Maybe you could go round everybody up. We could have a conversation about what we're going to be doing on our next stop. I feel like a little bit of proper planning will go a long way. I don't need any flan right now. That's a very, very kind offer. Let's just maybe you go round everybody up. I'm going to finish what I'm doing, and then I'll come up on deck and meet everybody.
I guess if I have to.
Too kind, sir. Thank you.
So I'll waddle off and try to get everybody together.
Sure. So you're going around the ship to gather people. You're passing by several of the crew members that are milling about the ship. There's Jarek, who is a kind of a withered looking female in like very colorful robes, who's she has like wrappings over her hands, and she carries a staff topped with an hourglass. There's Elwin Mueller, who's a human kind of scout for the ship. He's just kind of up on deck, keeping an eye out in wild space as the ship, before reaching the sphere's inner wall, drops from spelljamming to tactical speed as the Viper ship nears a small planetoid towards the outer edges of the crystal sphere. You see Captain Lorne at the till in the front of the ship, kind of spinning the wheel and pulling it around for a closer look. He spots a small vessel as you approach. If you're on deck, you would see this as well, or looking at a porthole. In the shadow of a small planetoid is a strange bluish gray ship designed to look like a small winged wolf. Its mouth closed and eyes like a bright red glass in the front, just like the Viper ship's green glass in the front of it where the helm is. Is anybody up on the top deck of the Illrigger?
I was heading that way, so I can.
Okay, so perhaps you and Nub Nub as he's scurrying about on the ground.
Well, with Nub Nub, he's currently caught in a web and is trying to get.
Oh, he's down in engineering with Elamir and Zirkas.
Yes, he has to be now.
And Augustus, Jarek is also up there, the shriveled, kind of withered woman, and you see her like clutch her staff tightly at the sight of this vessel that you're coming around. Around her waist, a belt of crystals glows with varying degrees of brightness, but she seems alarmed at the sight of this ship as the Illrigger slows down to approach it.
I haven't described my character at all, so that our fans might not know what the hell I am. So,
yes.
So I am a Abyssal Tiefling, so I'm purple color. He is fairly rotund. He is basically a ball shape. He is wearing a little vest and has very thin little legs that stick out under the orb of his body, although he has big meaty hands and a cherub-like face with dark black greasy hair that is continually stuck to the sides of his head. When I see this ship coming up, I will run over to the captain. You said he's up on the deck, right?
Yep, Captain Lauren. He is an Eladrin.
I say, Captain Lauren, what is that? Is it going to kill us? It's got lots of teeth.
He says, I'm not sure. He's like, I've never seen a vessel quite of that make before, but it's common celestial courtesy to take a look at inert ships in space to see if anyone needs help.
By Glob, turn away. Steer away from it. Go around.
He's
Don't
like,
let it get us.
Make a persuasion check.
Adventure deferred. Let's see, persuasion. Oh, okay, 7.
He's like, I understand your trepidation. He's like, but if our ship was seemingly stranded, I would hope somebody would come and investigate as well. And Jarek kind of shuffles up towards you two as well, and she says, Captain, I don't know how this is possible, but that appears to be a night wolf. It's from a distant region of the verse that's currently uncharted in this era, she says. And he kind of like nods grimly towards her. He's like, okay, well, we'll be extra careful, Jarek.
I'll defer to your expertise, sirs. I'm gonna go below deck and find the rest of the crew and warn them that we're all about to die or something, I guess.
He's like, don't worry. He's like, your producers paid a hefty sum for the charter for your protection as well.
I quickly waddle/slither my way below deck to find the rest of the party.
All right.
Shortly after Augustus would have left my quarters, I would have walked out, and I'm kind of like bellowing for people. Is anyone of mine? Where is Nub? Yeah, boy, need some help now.
I'm still in the webs.
Yeah, I figure you're completely indisposed, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna,
Sure.
So I'm gonna march around and without Nub immediately appearing, which I assume he would normally like come tearing towards me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around. I'm trying to find Five Hand Stan instead.
Okay. Stan.
Yeah, obviously I'm looking for
Sure.
various other people.
It's not a huge ship. I mean, it would probably be only a moment before you found each other.
Okay.
Unless nobody goes down into the cargo hold where Sirkas
I will go knock on Sirkas's door.
I come descending from the ceiling on a silken web and open the door upside down.
I quickly back away from the door and press myself fully up against the wall opposite the door.
Can I help you?
The master would like to see us post haste.
So what you see in the background is there's this little wiggling mouse like in the webs, and then it transforms into Nub and just. All right, let's go.
Do you have any idea how long it took to build that?
Nub, you could probably turn in. You might actually know that you could turn into a spider. I bet.
Nub, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Come along.
Have I run into Five Hand Stan yet?
I suppose. I mean, if you went to his room and knocked on the door, you'd probably find
Okay.
Yes.
My friend, I seem to be having a little bit of trouble getting everybody together. If you could reach out with your creepy brain thing, go ahead and round everybody up, get them on the upper deck. I'd like to meet everybody up there. Thank you so much. And I just turn around and walk away.
Okay, I quickly go back and hide a mouse and a beetle in one of my pockets where he can't see, and then I start adjusting a few of the other things, and I come out.
Okay.
While I keep my distance from Sirkas, always keeping out of her reach, I will explain to Nub and Sirkas that there is a giant, horrifying, tooth-filled, monstrous wolf outside that's about to devour the ship, and the captain seems to be okay with that.
Okay,
Very
so
worried
my
that we might
character,
wanna mute-
Nub, not okay with that, and he runs up to the top deck immediately with his waddly little legs, like.
I suppose it can't kill us if we eat it first. And I continue walking.
That's a good rule of thumb.
And as you're about to get up to the deck, you hear, "Everybody, Fitzroy wants us up top." Well, actually, you wouldn't hear the clicking. Everybody,
Maybe
Fitzroy wants us up top.
It's a telepathic affectation that he does just to let give
Get
people's
out of my
mind at
head,
ease.
Charles.
So as you all arrive at the top deck, and approach where Captain Lauren is speaking with Jarek, you catch the tail end of her conversation with him. She says she's explaining that in the era she comes from, these Nightwolf are scouting vessels of the Vodani Empire. She's like, they ruled dozens of spheres under tyranny for years. In fact, it was the people of my order took up our mission to find help against him. But she's like, we've all become lost in time, as you know. She says, but I can't imagine how this small vessel would have gotten this far. And it's the actual wolf design is unusual, but it's not unusual for spelljamming vessels to be like modeled on, bugs and things like that. But this particular model is frightening and unusual.
I'd like to just. So I heard like some of the conversation that those two are having back and forth.
Yeah, you just kind of like overhear. They're not like speaking privately. It's just that's what they were talking about when you guys walked up.
I'd like to just approach the captain. Captain, so we do have a date. What is the protocol for this?
He's like, we're just pulling in to take a look, just in case there's anybody, stranded if they're unable to spell jam at the time. And actually, Fitzroy, make an Arcana check.
Oh dear. Let's make sure I'm actually looking at my character sheet when I make this roll. +1. Oh, I got an 18. Hey, I'm good at something.
So as the ship is slowly approaching the Nightwolf, your planar senses kind of trigger, and you're sensing planar energies from the direction of that ship.
Captain?
What is it?
I kind of have a nose for these things. If you'd show just a little bit of hesitation so I could have my crew come up here. I'd definitely like Nub and Cass to be on the deck before we get any closer.
I'm there.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, and then you turn around and you're like, oh, they're all just standing right there.
Danger! And I have my stick, and I'm like,
The red stick of might.
Nub sees no wolf.
Showing off the Nub Mortal Kombat skills while you're...
And I hit myself.
Okay.
No wolf, but it looks like the fabled treasure ship. Can we take things from this place?
Lorne gives you a wink. He's like, well, that's the other part of celestial courtesy. If it's an abandoned ship, it's fair game. He's like, Illriggers made quite a bit of coin off similar excursions.
I start unpacking my packs.
Okay.
Like my bigger sacks, I'm like taking them out with several of my hands.
I'm gonna walk over to just in between Cass and Nub.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a bit of a bad feeling about this. I'd like to make sure the two of you are ready.
Don't worry, Nub understands what you're trying to tell me.
He's
Ready.
all right.
I'm sure he does.
Not. What precisely are you concerned is going to happen?
I used to go hunting on my homeworld all the time, and one of the ways we found the creatures, you can almost smell it in the air, like ionization. I can tell that there's something on that ship, but I can't tell what it is. We're still too far away. I have a feeling when we get closer, we'll get a better look, but that might be a little too late. So just be ready for a fight. Nub, you keep that stick handy.
So we are treading
yes, I
into the
will.
enemy's web, as it were.
I'm
All
hooking
the
my
enemies
vest.
that come against us will feel the end of my stick.
Jarek actually turns to Fitzroy and she's like, what are you saying? What do you mean that what are you sensing?
How would I describe that? I figured it would be like a like Spidey sense, but how do I describe Spidey sense to someone else?
Well, I mean, in your home world was kind of like a plane in a planar flux most of the time, so it kind of like is in tune with the energies of other planes.
Also, I assume the ship does not appear to have damage, or does it? I forgot.
No, it actually is just
It's pristine.
Yeah, it's smaller than your ship. You can't detect any damage. Actually, make a perception check if you're looking over the
All right, looking out.
closely at it.
13.
I mean, it looks like it has normal wear and tear for a ship. It's not like fresh off the shipyard or anything.
Something
Query.
tight, it would have damage to it of some kind. Broken wood, pieces coming off. This, nothing.
This ship looks like a big flying wolf. You said. Does that mean that it's just styled that way, but it still has a general ship shape, or?
Yeah, it looks like if you took like
open deck and everything.
Yeah, like if you took a boat and then built like a facade of a wolf's head on the front and like two kind of wings. And
I was sort of just imagining a big giant flying statue that probably had a door on it somewhere, but okay.
No, yeah, but and then the top deck is open and kind of spread across the wingspan. There's 2 catapults on either side, and you see the head of it where the helm probably is, and you're pretty close then. The ship's kind of like pulling up alongside it, and Lorne issues a few commands to one of the crew members, and who dashes off down the stairs, and he's like,
oh no,
he's like,
there we go.
we're gonna go check it out. Ooh, I just saw that note. Are we good?
Yeah, you froze for just a second, but you're back.
Oh, that was okay. Yeah, it said my internet connection is unstable. I'm not sure why, but so anyways, a crew member scurries off down the ladder to the lower decks, and he's like, it looks fine to me. He's like, I'm gonna send somebody aboard. He's like, you're welcome to go. Maybe it'll make a good chapter in your book. I don't know.
That's the problem. It looks fine.
It's like 9 times out of 10 they're just abandoned vessels and we just loot them.
I'm gonna turn around to my homies here. None of you have to board this vessel in order to search it, but I think it would be in our best interest to help the rest of the crew.
I'm already in skip.
You said you sensed something strange aboard this vessel, yes?
I did, indeed.
Then I'm going.
Oh, courageous masters, can I please follow with you?
Oh, of course. Please do.
The courageous man, no.
That red stick confers a lot of respect.
I have 2 grappling hooks in each one of my hands and 2 ropes in the other 2 hands. And I'm clicking. We can go, right?
Yes, of course. As long as you're willing to put yourselves in the harm's way.
Already hopping into whatever we need to get over there.
I'm going to keep my hand on my pig sticker and slowly make my way over with everyone else. I'd like to stay in the middle of everyone, as close to as many of them as possible.
Okay. So Randall is at the helm as usual of the Illrigger, and he pulls up alongside it slowly. Captain Lorne is going to send Elwyn, the scout, with you, and that's who he's going to send the scout. And Jarek also is interested in going because this is from a time and space that she thought was millennia in the past. So you can descend onto the deck of the Nightwolf ship. And Elwyn kind of just, he's got a crossbow out. He goes kind of stalking across the deck just to make sure, like, listening at the floorboard and things like that. Anything in particular anybody else wants to do? Look around. You can go down the ladder. There's a ladder towards the front of the top deck.
I'll go to the ladder.
Okay. It leads down. You can see the bottom, leads down to the middle deck of the ship. And make a perception check. It's kind of dark down there. Do you have dark vision?
Maybe. Let's see.
Would a mantis have dark vision?
I would think so.
All right. I mean, it is darkened down there just because there's no lights on, but you can see the ground where the ladder goes.
I think I don't actually.
Okay.
I think I might transform into a dog and then go around sniffing.
Sure. Make a perception check with advantage because of your keen senses.
I did get a 20.
Okay. So while he's rolling that, you can clearly see that the ladder leads down, and there's a long hallway of that deck of the ship. There's also a door to the, if you were to climb down the ladder, it'd be on your right, and then like a little hallway that goes along the side to the left.
Okay.
That is
I'd like to.
14 for my smelling.
You smell the scent of blood, and you trace it back to, there's a few blood stains on the deck, and they're over around what you now see are battered portions of the hull, and the two ballista that look to be smashed up as well.
Whoever's near me, I look to them and go.
I'm right on top of Nub Nub then.
Okay.
I'll just follow him around while he's sniffing things out. He's gonna have a way better chance of spotting anything. I'm gonna try and maybe zero in with my spidey senses, see if I can't get a better sense of things. What would you like me to roll for that?
I don't actually think it. For the planar senses, it's just like it's like the paladin's divine sense. So you focus your planar senses, and it actually seems to be just coming from all around the ship, and as if the ship itself is infused with some kind of planar energy.
Okay, cool.
And we'll say, like, Jarek sees you concentrating and kind of comes up to you and says, like, "What is it? What are your senses telling you?"
Well, in my home world, when a creature had come from somewhere else, other planes or worlds, we would be able to find them, sniff them out, so to speak. This whole ship feels like one of those creatures did.
She kind of like looks like a far off look, and she says, "Perhaps that's how it got to be so far from its origin." She's like, there are certain areas of the phlogiston that have been known to transport people vast distances. She's like, I've consulted star charts in this era, and they don't even map out where the Vodani Empire is. So it's totally unknown in this time.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's make sure everybody's moving with caution.
All right.
And I'm just gonna stay on Nub Nub's tail.
The second you say, let's make sure everyone's moving with caution, you're like, where's Nub Nub?
Yeah, Nub Nub, if you were sniffing out more blood and things, you would have led you to the ladder where Stan. Did you go down, or are you still just kind of?
Yeah.
Oh no, I did not go down yet.
Okay.
But when I see Nub Nub's transformed person, some kind of.
I'd like to try and make
thing?
an acrobatics to just kind of jump down
Sure.
instead of using the ladder.
Okay, I was just going to grab him, but he jumps.
Do you want to try to make a grapple check? Well, roll initiative. You just shoot two.
Dun, 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 dun. 15 plus 3. So 18 for me.
18.
All right.
My dex mod is my dex mod is +2.
My dex mod's +3.
All right.
All right. So we'll say, Stan, you have a chance to make a grapple check as you see Nub Nub just like snip to the edge of the ladder and just
kind
go
of
to
get low and then jump. And as I'm jumping, you're just like
trying to grab at him.
Yeah. What's that going to be, like my base proficiency?
Grappling, I think it's just an athletics check.
Oh, okay. 19.
Right.
What kind of dog are you?
I am we'll say a corgi.
I was thinking
pick.
corgi.
So I kind of grab him by his scruff.
Okay.
We should wait for everyone. Don't you think?
Am I watching this like grab?
Oh yeah, it's not that. Yeah, it's not huge.
Okay.
It's pretty small. Scale.
Are we? We're all kind of like looking at this hole and it's dark and nobody wants to go down. Is that what's happening?
Basically, yeah.
I will go to the hole and kind of like reach my hand out over it and then press to digitate some glowing drips of like goop and kind of just drop them down there and see if it lights it up a little bit.
Absolutely. So the luminescent gloop just was like, and like splatters down on the ground and kind of. It looks like if you broke open a glow stick and just poured the liquid out, and it's just like. And yeah, you can see that the hull goes back probably towards the aft, or the rear of the ship, and the doorway that is down at the bottom of the stairs looks like it's actually smashed open, and there's like deep scratches in the wood of the deck surface down there.
May I make a climb check to crawl along the ceiling instead of using the floor?
I don't even think you have to use a check. You have spider climb, so you just like.
Hmm.
I'm going to use the ladder, holding on the nub nub.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to climb down, without incident. Circas is scuttling along the ceiling of there. Once you get under there, you can see there's 2 more doors down the hallway, and then a larger door at the end where ship's jettison usually is at.
I'd like to start climbing down, and as I'm starting to climb down, I'm gonna like lock eyes with you, Augustus.
Okay.
Come on, Augustus. What's a chef without a saucier? Let's go.
Right behind you, sir.
And I will
I
set
imagine
nub nub.
Augustus just slides down the ladder.
Actually, I wait until he goes through, and then I lean over the hole head first. At which point, everyone probably realizes that I don't really fit through the hole as I fill it from edge to edge. But after some squiggling and some greasiness, with an audible pop, I slide through.
Gross. You're disgusting.
I imagine he just kind of like plops to the ground, then just kind of like oozes back up to his feet.
Yeah, I mean, I land on my face, but I roll it off.
Yep.
I immediately
I
set
should
down
also
nub
mention
nub.
I have dark vision here, so.
Nub nub is free.
All right. Nub Nub
All right.
begins exploring.
I'm gonna try and catch up with. I'd like to stay on Nub Nub's tail.
Sure.
Ears are up and back. So he's on the case. If it was like this, he'd be.
Okay.
And I'd like to get eyes on where Circas is headed. So Circas, which direction are you going in as well, please?
I'm just going straight and kind of staying around the party. I'm not picking a direction just at this juncture. I'm more watching out for you guys from above.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, it's not super long. Like the deck is probably only like 25 feet, down the hallway. And like I said, there's 2 other doors off. There's the door that's kind of smashed open, and then there's like a little hallway leading around towards the front of the ship, the Wolf's Head, if you will. Is there any particular? The other doors are all closed.
Okay.
Nub, there's definitely a smell of blood, and there's just spattered blood stains like in the hallway and stuff. Sort of.
I see, like, is one of the doors more has more pungent odor than the others or something?
Probably the door at the end of the hallway would, yeah.
The one that's smashed.
No, the one that smashes like right down at the bottom of the ladder. Like,
Okay.
If you were to
Gotcha.
climb down, it's like
I
right there.
look at the door, which has all the blood, like, and then I start pawing at it.
Okay, and you guys see that happening.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to the door to open it, but then I'm gonna kind of go turn and look back at Stan.
I've already got things out to mess with doors.
Also,
Okay.
I'm hunched, like,
Bird dogging it.
looking at it, ears back.
Ready to go. Stan, if you could do me a favor, is there anybody else around here to talk to that we don't know?
It would require. I whispered if it's right. It would require that I yell.
Yell. Let me know if you find anything, and then I'm gonna pop the door open.
Are we at the broken door or a different door?
We're at the door that
The one I was pawing. It's not the broken door.
Oh, okay.
I
wanted
smell
to
blood from
investigate
this.
the broken door when we get a chance.
Stan, make a perception check.
14.
So you're kind of just casually, your telepathy's eyes up, and you kind of detect like a similar mind to your own experiences with a hive mind, sort of like an insectoid thinking brain beyond the door.
Oh. I am excited and annoyed at the same time. And I try and whisper to it. Are you
Oh, yeah.
friendly? Are you foe?
It just is very primitive kind of thought. It's not very like intelligent thought, and it just
Oh, okay, so more like a giant ant instead of.
yeah,
Okay.
it's just like you detecting like, ooh, that's a it's like it's got that insectoid quality. That
Okay, I'm going to put a hand on Fitzroy.
Okay.
And say, just to everyone that like this little small area, it is some kind of insectoid creature, possibly hive creature, but I do not know what it is, and it is not like myself. It is like others, like other small bugs, but I do not know the size.
Prey thing.
But possibly large.
You're saying you can't make a conversation with it then?
It'd be like talking to Nub Nub. I leave off the part that he's transformed or not. Like he is now.
Sounds like it goes on a dinner plate then. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm popping that door open, and I'm making it. I'm kind of trying to open it over Nub Nub, so if there's something really bad there, the killing machine Nub Nub will be the first man on the job.
Yeah, so you open it and then Nub Nub's at the door, so that way the Welsh Corgi can jump on it and pounce it, and then we'll overpower it, and then
with the Welsh Corgi.
So you thrust the door open, and the first thing that catches your eye is like a scintillating, multifaceted, like twinkling set of giant bulbous eyes that kind of like just bewilder you, and they are attached to a massive insectoid head and armored body of a humanoid creature that is very large in the jettison area of the Nightwolf, and I need you to make a charisma saving throw. That's right.
Talking Nub Nub.
And Nub Nub.
Oh no! Oh no!
Don't worry, dogs have terrible charisma.
Well, a 2 plus 2 is 4.
Okay.
I got a 17 minus 2. That's a 15.
Okay, so Nub Nub, you're like
Everyone loves
your
dogs.
your canine brain is able to resist, but Fitzroy, you are just totally confused by this strange insectoid gaze, and everybody can roll initiative.
Nub Nub, save me.
Don't worry, as a dog I have 2 hit points.
Should I roll initiative or am I out of it?
Oh yeah, and you can also roll a d8 with your initiative.
Okay. 16 and the d8 I rolled a 7.
All right. So I'll let you know what that means when it's your turn.
Dun, dun, dun.
No foreboding there at all.
What did everybody else get? What did you get, Sirkas?
18.
Oh, 18. And Nub Nub
16.
and Gloop.
19.
Damn. And Stan?
22.
Shoo,
Means I'm
man.
gonna miss the entire combat.
Miss. Yeah, you're definitely going first. So yeah, you can see over Fitzroy's shoulder this like giant thing that was just kind of like perched down at the back corner of the jettison, which is closed at the moment. And it just kind of like stands up on its feet, and its eyes kind of like glitter in the dark, in the shadow, and that's what you see.
Okay, it's giant, huh?
Yeah. Make a nature check.
Okay. 11.
You actually recognize this creature. It's along the same species line as some of your distant relatives. Is an umber hulk, is what it's called by folks out there. And you know that its insectoid eyes have a confusing gaze.
Okay. Oh, so I do know that it has a confusing gaze?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try and not look at it. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but I'm going to try and not directly look at it.
Sure.
And does Fitzroy look confused?
He looks like he's just transfixed. Yeah, he just kind of flung open the door and he's just like standing there stock still at the moment as
Okay.
Nub Nub continues to growl and
All right.
bark at
Could
them.
I use a bonus action to kind of push him out of the way and get in there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you can push him out of the way. I mean, it's like the jettison door is like a larger door than the other ones, so
okay.
you could probably just like step over Nub Nub and kind of push it.
All right.
This is a good idea.
I will hop around and kind of shove him away because it looks like he's kind of dazed.
Sure.
Done.
And I am going to use my hit dice to use a bonus action to dodge.
All right.
Because I just remembered that, and it's really good, and I think I'm gonna need it.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't think. Did you actually use an action? Though you still have your action.
yes, I will use my action to get on the side of it and attack.
All right, going up in melee with Umber Hulk.
Yes. Will I get any? Because I'm acting first. Technically it acted first, but it didn't see me. So is that like coming out of hiding technically, or?
Sure.
All right, I like that. Okay, 20.
That hits. Its armor class is 18.
Ooh, all right.
It's heavily armored.
Oh, I wish. 16 damage,
All right, so yeah, you find a chink in its exoskeleton.
and I will move kind of to the side of it. So let's say Nub Nub is in the doorway still. I'm in the room on the side of it.
Okay, so yeah, you kind of scuttle forward into the room and up to him and just like weave under his bulk and stab him in a fleshy part.
Yeah, I'm trying to grab his attention, but not the help action. Just like I'm hoping I grabbed his attention by slapping him hard enough.
It definitely roars in pain and is just like "Roar," and its full height's practically like filling the space and touching the ceiling. It's got like just huge claws and like a kind of bristly fur over its exoskeleton, and it is Gloop's turn. Or
All right,
Augustus. I don't know what you prefer.
You guessed this.
Okay.
So I guess I'm like kind of at the doorway because I was behind Fitzroy.
Yeah, you're kind of just on the hallway. It's about a 10-foot wide hallway.
All right. So I guess the first thing I'm gonna do, because I have a familiar, right? Familiar gets his own turn.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm kind of running on the assumption that unless stated otherwise, my familiar, which is essentially a closet, is going to be invisible all the time.
Okay.
Once it ceases to be invisible. So it's going to try to sneak up on it invisibly. And then I guess it'll do that on its turn. For my part, I'm going to kind of crawl up against the wall to try to get as much distance from this thing as I can while still being able to see it.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to wring my hands and kind of black goop sort of appears between them, and I like throw it at it, which is my Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
I'll roll that die.
Yep. Roll. 18 is the armor class.
18.
I'm all tense right now.
I
Yeah,
got
just
a
wait till
9.
it's your turn. Oh yeah, so yeah, you wad up this tarry goop and just fling it in its face. And,
Unfortunately, only 1 damage.
hey,
Oh.
damage is damage.
It hits with a splat, and there's a slight sizzle.
Yeah, and it just kind of like runs down his mandibles that are like chittering madly. What is your familiar's initiative?
Oh, sorry, I figured it just went after me.
Oh yeah, we could do that. I didn't know how you wanted to play it. Sure, you can do that. So yeah, it is invisible, sneaking up towards the thing.
So I guess when it gets up to it, it's got a speed of 40,
Oh yeah, I can make it.
and let's see if it doesn't turn into one of these other things. And then it's just going to try to bite him.
Sure.
Go, his AC is so high. It's only a 16. For invisible, do I have advantage on that?
Yes, actually you do.
Better roll? No better. Okay.
All right. It just kind of oozes over his foot.
So a small flan-shaped ooze appears at his feet.
Does it have a face? I'm picturing like a little flan, like a wiggling flan with like a face in it.
I would say it has a mouth.
It has a mouth. Okay.
It has a roughly formed mouth type of hole.
Sounds
right.
gross.
Sounds delicious. Flan? Who doesn't like flan? Now we're down to Seer Castle. Yeah, you are on the ceiling in the hallway, so you could easily scuttle over the door jamb and into the room or whatever you like.
Yeah, Yes, good. That is what I would like to do. I want to attempt to grapple, and I have the rules for that up right now because that is always a pain in the butt, and I hate to be that person, but I
No,
get
no, that's cool.
advantage on grapple, so
Sure.
let's see, that would be athletics contested by athletics or acrobatics, whichever it decides to use.
Yeah.
Probably it doesn't hit most of athletics. It's just strength, so it's pretty strong. Got a 22.
Oh yes, no, I don't win.
So yeah, you go up and try to grapple him with your many spider arms, and it just kind of like shrugs off.
Oh wait a minute, I
Roars.
have advantage. Hold on, let me
Okay.
let me try this one more time.
This
That
is
was
you
the
actually
entire
trying to
one.
grapple.
No, I
him.
still don't win, but
But you are all up in its face, and maybe just part of you's like, hey, it just wants to eat, just like me. And it is now. What were you asking something, Anthony?
I wasn't sure if she was trying to physically grapple it, or spray it with webs.
Oh.
both.
So Fitzroy, it is your turn, and because you rolled a 7, you roll a random die. You must make an attack against Nub Nub.
No, I love Nub Nub. I
It's
don't want to do this.
I know there's actually like a tear going down your eye. You're like, I'm just compelled to.
I can't tell what's going on around me. Poke, was that the monster?
You don't know. You're just feeling totally bewildered and confused.
But I don't have to use my bonus action to increase the damage.
No. Nope, you just have to make
Nice.
one melee attack against Nub Nub.
Nub Nub, I apologize. I rolled an 18.
All right. So Nub Nub has 2 hit points. So how much damage is that?
Those are gone. 4 damage.
Okay, 4 damage. All right. So I get hit, and then I transform back, and Nub Nub's like, I must have done something wrong. He's mad at me now.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
you're
so
ruining
sad.
my life. You're killing me, Doug. You're killing me. All right.
That's what you get for being
Drama.
so furry.
And all your bones. And let's see. You can try to avert your eyes if you'd like. Or actually, that's at the beginning of your turn. We'll do it that way. But yeah, you still have a move too, if you'd like to move away or into the room. It's up to you. Also, you just had to attack enough.
If I'm still confused, I want to get as far away from everyone as possible.
Okay, so you
I'm
can.
just gonna like back away, covered my eyes, can't figure out what's going on. I'm just wandering towards the ladder, like the direction I came from.
Okay, gotcha. Really, make a dexterity saving throw.
That means I rolled good. When I say something like I rolled a 9 plus 4, 13.
Okay, so yeah, you just are like shielding your eyes and blindly going backwards into the hallway, and you kind of come to stop. You back up against the smashed door at the bottom of the ladder, and it kind of just like swings open. But you're just like standing in the doorway down the hallway from the thing, out of range of the creature.
Okay.
All right, so now we are down to it is Nub Nub's turn.
All right. Nub Nub realizes that he's mad at me because I'm not attacking this thing yet. So
Of course.
I'm going to turn into a pouncy cat, which
Okay.
is the tiger. And
Oh, okay.
I'm going to charge at it and then make a pounce on it.
Absolutely.
All right. So doop a doop, and then goes. All right. Claw attack on it. So that is going to be a 16 to hit.
It just scrapes along the side of its armored exoskeleton.
Okay. And then I'm going to do a bite attack. Or nope,
Sure.
that's it. I only get the one attack.
Oh,
All right.
wow, because of the pounce.
Pounce on it. Miss. All right.
All right, and now it is its turn. So it's beset by a sentient flan, a bug man, a spider trying to grapple it with it, and a tiger. It's going to take one attack at each of you. It just kind of like swipes its claws, and its mandibles are like chittering towards. So we're gonna do a claw at Stan. That is a 7. I'm sure that misses. It's gonna take a claw at Circas. Rolling bad by die. That's only an 8, and it's gonna snap its mandibles at Nub Nub.
That's a good point.
Wow. 9. None of those hit.
All right.
Oh, thank goodness.
It is beset on all sides by critters and creatures. It's back up to Stan, and Stan, at the start of your turn, you can choose to either avert your gaze, which will give you disadvantage on your attacks, or take a risk and gaze into its confusing eyes.
Do I know it's actually its gaze that does it, or do I just think it has like pheromones or something around?
Yeah, you actually are familiar. Like you
I'm definitely
recognize the
solid
creature.
on the eyes thing. Is
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. It's a fellow bug in the same genus as you.
Oh, okay.
So you're like, I know these things.
I am going to. Oh, I don't want to have disadvantage, so I am
Although
going
there's
to...
several allies in melee, which would give you advantage, right?
Mm.
I
So
would
it
just
would
say,
just negate
well,
it.
basically, if I get disadvantage, I'm not going to be able to sneak attack.
Okay.
So I feel like I should
You're
just
gonna
deal with
chance it?
I'm going to chance it. I'm going to try and like get behind it so there's a better chance of it not happening, but I don't even know if that does anything.
I'll
But-
give you advantage on your charisma saving throw. How's that sound?
Oh, all right. Well, then I like that. Oh, good. It was good as advantage. Yeah. I believe that is 14.
It catches you with a little bit of that twinkle in its eye. Roll a d8.
All right. 7.
All right. Same as Fitzroy. So you are going to instead. Actually, I forgot. Let me factor in the umber holes.
We're just gonna murder
The,
each other.
the random creature is the umber hulk itself.
Oh, all right.
You get the luck of the d6.
Yay!
Okay. And I have a 21 to hit.
That definitely hits.
All right. So I'm still confused, but I'm thinking I'm attacking the Umber Hulk, right?
Yeah, you're confused. The random creature that you had to
Okay.
attack, what ended up being the umber hulk.
All right, 24. I'm glad it was the Umber Hulk. That would have been
Whew,
ugly.
man, yeah. Oh yeah, you definitely put a hurt on him by stabbing him. What is he wielding? A rapier?
No, short
rapier,
sword,
right?
like short sword kind of things.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Okay.
I rolled an extra d6, so take 6 off of that. Whoops.
Cheater.
I just,
You cheater!
I'm like, Umber Hulk's gonna murder me, and I grabbed too many d6s.
Okay, Gloop, sorry, Augustus, it is your turn. Make a perception check for me, if you would.
I get a 9, unfortunately.
Okay, proceed with your turn.
Okay. I will try to. So Fitzroy ran away?
Yeah, he stumbled off down the hallway, shielding his eyes and in shame for having attacked his friend Nub Nub.
I stabbed my sweet Nub Nub.
Are we retreating? Did we give up? Can we get out of here? I'm
Can
wondering
I
if
hear
just
him
blast
yelling that?
Oh yeah.
No, kill it with fire. Put it down.
All right, I'm gonna try to Eldritch Blast it one more time.
Okay, I also need you to make a charisma saving throw, unless you're averting your gaze.
No, I'll make it.
All right.
You can't roll as bad as I did.
Don't jinx stuff. And an 18.
Yeah, you definitely, you're like, confusing gaze. Whatevs.
You can't confuse that which doesn't know.
Right. The maddened cacophony of your mind is like, I'm already more confused than that, man.
All right, I hack another Luger at it.
All right.
This is a 16, unfortunately.
Yep, just drips off that chitinous exoskeleton. But does your familiar have a name? Is it Flan?
It does not have a name.
The nameless one.
But it is. I'm willing to hear name suggestions though.
We can call him Flan.
Loopy.
Flotsam.
Jelly Roll.
I guess
Morton.
he's gonna try to take another nibble on him.
Sure.
Lupus Maximus.
Jelly Roll Morton.
No, they're all garbage.
All right.
Sir Bradley. Something really weird.
So.
Ultra pretentious. Anyway, sorry.
Drippy.
All right. There you go. All right, Fitzroy, it is your turn. You are no longer confused.
I'm no okay.
Yeah, you can't even, it's a mass of arms and teeth and goop down there. You can't even see its face.
Okay. I'm going to go barreling back in, but averting my eyes from
Sure.
its beautiful, pretty eyeballs.
Make a perception check with advantage.
I will do
'Cause
that. Okay.
You're looking everywhere but at it.
I rolled a 19.
So on the back, side of the wall towards the back, you see a hand crank lever, which you recognize as what the crews use to open the jettison doors.
Oh my God. Yes. And we're going to pull lever number 1.
All right, make an acrobatics check just to weave through the combat to get back to that.
Yeah, that's absolutely. 4. 12.
So yeah, you manage to the battle's going on. You just kind of skirt around the side and open the jettison door, and the back wall of the ship just kind of cranks down on a chain, and you see wild space beyond, and you see Illrigger actually the back of it's kind of adjacent with the ship. And it's at that time that you also feel a vibration coming from your suit pocket, where that stone that Lagdouche gave you was.
Oh no. Okay. I guess I can I try and grab the stone out while I'm in the middle
Yeah,
of
it's just a manipulating object action. It's just kind of going zzz, zzz, zzz.
Oh, good. Sorry, I'm in the middle of a meeting right now. Could you please take the message?
Yeah, and you hear Lagdouche's voice. He's like, Captain Lorne says everybody needs to get back to the ship. He's like, there's a mine spider coming around the side of the planetoid.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that is, but I don't think we want to encounter it.
We are extremely occupied at the moment. We could use a little bit of help out here. And can I, what part of the ship? The back?
Where you're at now?
What part of the Illrigger can I see?
Oh, you can see what is the back of the ship called? A stern?
Stern.
Yeah. So yeah, you see the stern where the curved kind of cobra tail is curling up around the side.
We could use some crossbows on the stern, please. And I'll just pull out my sword, and we got to kill it if we want to leave. So.
All right. So he's like.
Also, just to clarify, he opened a door so the room has out into wild space?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, and it is your turn, Nub.
All right.
This happens.
What I would like to try and do, I don't know, depending on the positioning, is as a tiger back off and then pounce and try and push it out into wild space.
You can totally do that.
And
I love this plan.
I'm going out with it.
I don't love this plan anymore.
Go for it, man.
Well, what would happen is that as I'm going out, I would transform into normal and then do a whip to try and not go all the way out.
Like a thorn whip?
All right, so first I back off and then try and do a charge at it. So he's going to make an opportunity.
All right. Oh, yeah. I am rolling like crap. That's a 9.
All right. Now I'm going to pounce at it, and I believe that's a claw attack, or do you want me to do a strength thing?
You can do a claw attack. I mean, you're trying to take it down with your claws.
All right, using my inspiration.
Okay.
Even with inspiration, that is going to be a 14, unfortunately.
But it's an. Oh wait. So we're was it a charge, or are we actually doing the pounce?
I'm doing the pounce. So sorry. What happens is that with a claw attack, you do a pounce as you're doing it.
Oh, gotcha.
And your 9 was the opportunity attack, right, Doug?
Yeah.
I will allow, because of Stan's. Wait, no, you already went. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, you barrel into it and just kind of
try and push it.
Yeah.
Knock it off balance a little bit, but it manages to stay.
It does. It kind of stumbles on its footing a little bit and slides back towards the edge of Stan. You're actually behind it, so you also are right on the edge of the jettison doorway now. And it is. I skipped Sarkass, so it's your turn.
I will yell, watch where you're pushing.
All right. So, yeah, I'm thinking Eldritch Blast.
All right. Do you want to use
Oh,
your Whispers of the
oh.
Void?
Yeah, I probably should do that, but I just nat 28 on my attack roll, and I'm really excited.
No, that's cool. And I think Whispers of the Void is just a bonus action to make the next spell you cast have that effect as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Seer Cast just busts out some just very strange language that none of you understand, that just kind of creeps you out
Just
and
the
gives you
straight
the
up
willies.
dark speech of Mordor up in here.
Yeah, basically.
Does 13 damage.
That's
Awesome.
correct. And yeah, it actually like slides it back along the floor a little bit more, as it is right on the edge of wild space, and it is its turn. And Whispers of the Void gets a disadvantage on like the next thing it does or something, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, we'll go with that for right now. So it's gonna try to.
I'll be looking it up while you guys are doing that.
It's actually gonna try to push Stan out.
No.
So I need you to make a strength check.
Strength's not my strong suit. 14.
Yeah, I rolled a 17 with it, so it actually just kind of like turns around because you've been poking at it and just like wham, like smashes you with its forearm, and you go sending back.
I would like to use my reaction to try and bite the back of his foot, or like bite the like a tail of his
Okay,
foot or something
sure.
like that.
Make an attack roll.
All right. That is a 15.
Is it Stan?
I have a 16.
So yeah, you kind of like get your mouth around his foot as it just kind of like slides out of your tiger teeth, and you drift beyond the edge of the thing. You're floating in the ship's gravity.
Does Featherfall do anything for this?
No, but the ship currently has a gravity and atmosphere right now,
Okay.
which would mean there's actually somebody on the helm as well.
Oh, that's a good thing.
But so you are just floating in the pocket of atmosphere around the Night Wolf. And go ahead.
As soon as I see Stan starting to float away, I yell to Seer Cass. She's got webs and all kinds of cool stuff going on.
She does.
Seer Cass, Stan's leaving.
On it, sir.
And Stan, it is your turn.
Oh,
So there's
good.
gravity on the ship, but there's not gravity in the space around the ship.
No, there's like a pocket of air around the ship that there's like a gravity plane through the center of the ship, and you're just kind of like bobbing right outside of that.
Got it. Okay.
Well, I'm going to get out one of my grappling hooks
Sure.
that I've already
And you see
cracked.
several crew of the Illrigger now at the stern. Also,
Okay.
you know, like as Fitzroy called to them there.
Okay. So I'm shouting into people's heads. Somebody catch this if I miss.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Just make like a ranged attack.
Sure. Oh, a 12.
Yeah, I mean, are you just throwing it into the Night Wolf or up to the Illrigger?
There's all those people on the stern. I mean,
Yeah.
And there's
I would have tried to
there's,
throw
like,
it
the
back
edge.
into the.
Yeah, that can definitely like catch on the edge of the door. Sure. I mean,
Okay, great.
You're only like 5 feet from the thing, so you just kind of like hook it out onto the
Great.
edge of it. So you are safe.
Okay, and I'll start reeling myself in.
Yeah, and like I said, you're only we'll just say that takes like half your movement to
Okay.
get back in.
okay.
All right,
that.
and then I guess I'll use my. Let's say that's my action, so I'll use my bonus to give an attack towards
Sure.
the Umberhawk's back there.
I really thought Seer Cass was going to be trying to spider silk you back in. I'll be honest.
Well,
No.
fortunately, it was my turn, so I didn't have
I
to
was
float out
gonna.
there.
If he didn't make it, I was gonna whip. I was gonna turn back to normal and use the whip on his leg and Indiana
that's-
Jones him in.
I'm glad
Good
everybody
idea
was
as well.
was ready to go for me.
Oh, you were
20
done.
to hit.
That
No,
is,
it's like yeah. Augustus is
Oh,
like,
okay,
oh,
you're done.
he's gone forever,
Yeah. He's too far gone. We'll never save him now.
and that will be 13 damage.
All right, yeah, it's on the ropes for sure. And it is Gloop's turn, so yeah. What would you like
The
to
awesome gloop.
Augustus, sorry.
Starting to be awesome. Geez,
You're all awesome.
I'm failing real hardcore here.
Hey, everybody's still alive.
Why doesn't my there's a big opening now, right?
Yep.
All right, I kind of want to try to grease this thing out of the room.
Sure.
I kind of want to eat
I
it.
just saw 5 handstand go out there, so I got grease.
Yep.
I
I'm
like
just gonna
this.
basically blast it down with grease.
All right. So yeah, you do have. Does it get a saving throw? Is that how that works?
Yeah, it makes a dexterity saving throw.
All right. It's gonna have disadvantage because the whispers of the void are still echoing in its insectoid mind.
Ghost your cast.
And it got a 6. So it's just kind of like feet slip out from under him, and or if you want to describe what your greasy mess does, you're free to.
Well, I basically go like, "Bleh," and like grease pours all over it. He falls down. That's fine. Is there any way that I can just try to just push him out the
Sure.
hole? Just rush him.
Yep. Just make a strength check.
My little legs.
Yeah, but he's got some bulk behind it.
I rolled real good, so that's a 14.
Yeah. So you just kind of like take a running charge at him and just kind of slide his body down this greasy jettison floor, and it floats out into wild space.
Sweet.
As soon as it's floated out, everybody, we need to be off this ship right now. We got more friends coming in. And I turn around and head back to the ladder.
Okay.
I run back and then turn into from the tiger to Nub Nub, and then I climb up.
Okay.
As a tiger. It's hard.
Okay, so yeah, you all make your way back onto the deck of the Night Wolf, and you see, like, coming around the edge of the planetoid, another ship that looks like a giant spider, where, like, the main body of it, has, like, little structures built on the top where the chambers are, but the front are, like, huge pincer legs that are probably, like, 50 feet long and, like, segmented, and they're just kind of, like, chittering and making their way towards the ship as you all scramble.
Why you have to be spiders?
Excuse me.
Do I see anything worth snatching on the way up?
Make a perception check.
17.
Yes, in the door that Fitzroy pushed open, there is a small, like, little metal box pushed up against the inside of the door that kind of, like, just catches a glint of light as you're running by.
All right,
You can snag it.
I will go snag it.
Sure. All right. So yeah, you all scramble back to the back to Ilrigger, and Lauren is just like getting everybody to their stations and everything. And as you get onto the ship, Randall Enzo starts pulling the ship away, and unless you have a need of trying to convince them to stay and try to fight, they're just going to.
Why we run? What is this spider ship?
Lauren's like, it's a Nayogi slave ship. He's like, I don't have any desire to tangle with them. I don't even know why they're in Neurospace. He's like, that's bizarre, but he's like, that's on the the Human Travel Mitigation League, man. He's like, I'm not messing with it.
If you feel that running is the best option, that's fine. But if they try and get on this ship, they'll be feeling the hard end of my stick.
Yeah, he's like, damn right, Nub Nub. He's like, if I knew it, I liked you from the moment we picked you up. I like that attitude. He's like, but he who fights and runs away lives. So let's get the hell out of here. And
Only true if you run away first.
I'm in the runaway camp. I'm ready to leave. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
Oh
thing.
yeah, Randall is the expert ace pilot, and he just wheels the ship around and.
Did I notice? I was in a
his-
hurry. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was
gonna
gonna say he just dumps his spell slots to speed that ship up, and it takes off. But what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I was in a hurry to leave, so I might not have noticed. But did I notice Stan picking up and taking the box?
I would say no, because well.
Yeah.
You did mention like making sure everybody went, so you probably just in the confusion might have seen him like whoop, and like climb up the ladder. Like I was kind of picturing you were just staying at the bottom of the ladder, like, come on.
Did
Yeah.
Stan sleight of hand it?
I don't know how
He
big it
didn't
is.
say he did. That's probably just like this big.
Okay. Well, it can fit in one of my sacks.
Yeah. it's not big.
Football sized presents. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Sadly, I've noticed that 2 out of 3 of the sacks are not full. This was This was a
I guess-
lackluster raiding mission.
No, there was some confusion down there, and I'm gonna cast a good berry and just pop out some good berries for you.
Good on you.
I'm like,
I am so very sorry.
no, I'm sorry. Really, it was my fault.
That's not even the first time he was almost.
You were trying to attack the enemy. I got in the way.
No, you are a very dear friend. Stan, what's in the box?
Box?
Yes, I noticed you picked something up while you were down there. I figure if we managed to make it away with anything, that's good. So what did we get?
A box? I don't know.
It is locked.
Okay.
Can I see it? Do you want me to open it?
How about we go?
I
Let's
can
go
put
to
some
my
loot in
room.
there. I got some tools. I can try to get it in there.
I'll go
I'm
to Stan for a minute.
jealously clutching the box with my
Yeah,
hands.
I'm not
Just let me
gonna
hold
make it.
for a second.
I'm not gonna make any move to try and take it from him or act like I want it at all. I'll go to his room with him if he wants.
Yeah. Let's go open it
I'm
someplace
I'm
else.
also coming, but because I want a word with Stan, like at some point after the loot debacle is solved.
All right. So I put my beetle and my mouse back into the terrarium,
Mhm.
and I
Just
clear.
like to let him out every now and again for fresh air.
I clear out a section of the table that's by the terrarium, and I set it down. And I take out some tools, and I look over at Augustus. You wanted to try first?
Yeah, I think I can help. Grease the wheels, you know.
Good one. Okay, yeah, you can give it a thieves' tools
Okay.
check if you like. Whoever is going to attempt.
Well, I don't know how to do that.
Just be. Well, are you proficient with thieves' tools?
No. But
Then
what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my familiar
Okay.
and kind of rub them all over the box. And
Just pick him up by the scruff and just like.
I just kind of rub them all over the box and leave a kind of residue on there that I hope will loosen up something, maybe. Or
Okay.
it's probably got like an like a kind of off brown color now.
Yep, and it was kind of a battered old box that was rusty and stuff. So.
And then I just want to make it look like I helped.
Yeah. It actually does. The goop kind of seeps into the lock and greases the mechanisms inside, so you can have advantage on your unlock check.
Yeah, all right.
That's good because
Help, I expect a cut, right? Like I'm going to get a part of this, right?
I make like some kind of shittery sound with my mouth, but I don't say anything telepathically.
That's just him concentrating.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing I got advantage because there was a 4. So a 24.
Oh yeah, you're actually like, that grease helped a lot, and your tools just kind of slide right in, and the lock pops, and inside are sheafs of paper, scribbled notes, just kind of unbound and stuff, and underneath them are actually a pair of crystal lenses.
Okay, now I'm interested.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of shuffle. I'll try and keep the paper away from any grease that's been added to the box. So I carefully take the paper out with 2 sets of my hands, and then look in the rest of the box and kind of poke the crystals with my tools.
I want to, you know how people lick their fingers before they touch paper?
Mm-hmm.
I lick all of my fingers, and I start shuffling through the papers real fast to see if I can get a sense of what's written on them.
Yeah,
You
the
are a demon.
the papers are a collection of like sketchy entries and astrological charts, and there's just kind of handwritten notes detailing a small group of individuals' theft of the ship that you were on, the Night Wolf, and their desperate escape from Vodani space in search of help. the group discovered what is called a star beacon in what they refer to as the Weird, a dark region of the Phlogiston, which are very rare, but you have heard of them, and they're kind of like, not a lot of people have seen them, but they're just areas where the Phlogiston just stops. Apparently, the planar energy of the star beacon transported them far across wild space to the vortex region of space where you are. And once here, they continued at great peril to find help for their beleaguered sphere when a strange spider-like vessel took up pursuit just as they entered Neurospace for aid. And the final entries relate how the spider ship was upon them. The charts show some uncharted flow rivers and regions of space, and that's it. There's the crystal lenses in there as well.
This is like the captain's log, right?
It's more like just kind of notes for posterity. They weren't really like a ship's crew. They were just like a group of rebels who kind of stole a ship and went looking for help.
All right, I want to quickly divvy up the papers amongst the party, making sure that I keep the ones that talk about the dark space.
Okay.
I say, I'm speaking very quickly, clearly trying to get away with something. I give the, the greatest prize are clearly these lenses. These are just some useless papers. Here, Fitz, you're the leader. You should have some of these. And Stan, you fought so hard, you can have the other lens here. And then, Sirkas, you can have the box, I guess, or whatever.
We'll be speaking of this later.
While I see him fiddling with all the papers, I grab the crystal lenses into my hands.
Augustus, I need the charts, please.
Sure. Yeah. That's this one, right, sir? Here you go.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and get these charts to the captain. We're going to see if they know anything about these locations. I'm sure those notes are very interesting, but I have no desire in them. I'm going to make something to eat, probably have food ready in about an hour. And I'm going to head off. I'd like to give the charts to the captain.
Okay.
I'm just going to, roll out of the room. I figure we're good. Nub got good berries. These guys are divvying up weird stuff. Captain gets charts, and then I'm going to go cook.
Okay. So, during that time while you're in the Stan's room, the ship approached the edge of Nero's face at the crystal shell. Is anybody on the top deck or anything?
Yeah, I'll be on the top deck.
Okay.
And I'm if the ship's coming in, I'm like the spider ship when we're like fleeing.
Oh no, man! Randall smoked that thing.
That's what I was watching it, just giving it that.
The nub stare.
Yeah.
No, they kind of like broke off after a short time. They didn't appear to be. It looked like they were kind of waiting around that area, and after
he wanted that other ship.
Yeah.
All right, definitely my intimidation on the ship. That's gonna be 6. All right, I did my job.
No, you definitely scared it off. That's why they saw you on the deck and they're like turned around. But while you're up there, you see Crex Blasto, the halfling navigator of the ship, comes up to the top deck, and there's a portion of the top deck that's kind of like partitioned off by a series of like silver wires adorned with bits of amber like wrapped in the wire in a intricate sort of webbing pattern. And he goes into that area. He pulls out like a leather bound, or like a book bound in like blue leather, and he seems to be consulting it as the ship kind of nears the edge of the crystal sphere. Something you've seen several times, but normally ships go through like permanent portals in the spheres, but he actually performs a ritual that opens up a space in the crystal itself about the size of the ship in a rare ritual, and the ship passes out into the phlogiston, which is a multicolored gas that is basically like hyperspace. Ships move very fast between the spheres in it. It is highly flammable. You would all know that. You've been traveling in wild space for some time.
Yeah, Nub would definitely know that and be extremely cautious about
stuff
and things.
But despite that, it's very beautiful. It's just like a rainbow-hued gas that kind of permeates everything around, and the crystal spheres just sort of like bob up and down in it. And so you're heading out into the phlogiston.
You think they're still following us? I talked to the captain.
He's like, no. He's like, it looked. My guess is they raided that that ship, and we're just using it as a decoy for others. It's like this Neogis are sons of bitches. And he's like, we've run into him a few times, and he's like, I don't have any desire to tangle with slavers. He's like, it is weird that they were right there in Neurospace, so that's pretty bold of them to do.
Yeah, is it because there's fighting? Do they? I assume they hang elsewhere and just try and pick up people off who are.
They do. He's like, they're a scourge of the spheres. He's like, my guess is they probably figured all the hullabaloo around the pursuit, might have given them the cover to be so bold.
I absolutely hate Neogi, so I'm glad we ran.
Yeah. So yeah, as you're out in the phlogiston, does anybody want to help with any of the ship duties?
I still need a word with Stan.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
You can do that.
So I've got these papers. I don't really read much besides just a little bit of the regular verse and basically common and my own Skyrim language. So I just hand her the papers.
All right, and I tuck those away for the moment, and then I'm like, more importantly, are you okay?
Yes.
You were in the void, and she almost sounds reverent when she says that.
It was exciting. I am fine, though. It didn't feel much different. It felt kind of like jumping and, just floating around.
And she nods.
It's like being in a pool without the water.
It was strange, but I am okay.
I will bring you a report on what the papers say later.
Great. And these crystal lenses, do you think you can look at them? I know some things about trade goods, but I do not understand if these are more valuable than they seem at first glance.
I will give them a once over, and I'm gonna take them and look at the paper with them and see if that changes anything about the paper, because nobody really thought to do that.
Make an Arcana check.
Ooh. Oh, I actually have that skill. Good.
I had a wizard who didn't have any Arcana, and it was like, all right, we need to consult someone who knows something about Arcana, and they all look at me, and then I look at someone else.
23.
So yeah, you actually hold the lens, kind of like holding it and looking at the paper and flipping through the sheets. And on some of the star charts, there are actually flow rivers that did not appear under normal scrutiny.
Then I will show Stan this, and I'll be like, this is what they're for, I imagine. It might be worth hanging on to them, because I imagine they may well work like this on other things additionally.
How about you hold on to one, and I'll hold on to one?
I think that sounds fair.
Do they work individually, or do they need to be paired?
No, it's kind of like a goggles, sort of.
Okay, so they are together.
Lenses. Yeah. It's like two lenses that have a strap, but I figured Circass was maybe just kind of holding it in her hand, looking at the paper through it.
It's gotta have 8 lenses for it to work on.
Yeah, you didn't see everything.
Okay, well I won't break it up if it is actually part of a set.
Yeah, it's matching.
You should hang on to them, and if we need to use them again, just let me know.
Circass, make a perception check. Or a history check, your choice.
Well, I have history and I do not have perception, so that's what I'm going with.
Okay.
22.
So in just that glancing at the thing through the lens too, you kind of get that old familiar sense that voice you heard back in your web that drew you out into your journey into wild space, and kind of draws your attention to one of these stranger flow rivers on the map that you can see through the lens that leads kind of as a tributary of the one you're on that will go to Azor space, and it's not far off, but the sensation in your mind is kind of like drawing you towards the tributary where that ends in a dark region of space. That's like almost looks like just a perfect circle in the flow of just darkness.
Oh, she is absolutely enthralled by this for a moment, and then she looks up and she says, "May I, though, borrow these for a short time so that I might make a copy? I promise I will bring them back."
Sure. And I hand them over.
And I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna bring that to the captain. And like as soon as I figure out some kind of viable reason that I want to check this out, I'm gonna be thinking of an excuse for a while now.
Okay. Yeah, you can bring that up to the captain if you want to just like make a persuasion check. You don't have to think of anything on the spot to like try to explain your interest in this.
11.
He is willing to, he checks out, and you show him, and he's like, I think we can still make it to Azor space. If we take a little detour. He's like, your producers gave you pretty much free reign of the ship. He's like, if you don't make it, if you want to go to the side, check something out,
yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I simply feel that if they went through all of the trouble to hide this, then perhaps there's something valuable there.
All right. So what was everybody else doing? You were cooking, Fitzroy?
Yeah, I'm trying to make something that's sensitive to Circass's palate. So
okay. Make a cooking tools.
Well, just like a big chunk of raw meat with some stuff wrapped around it, and then wrapped in just a string to hold it together. And then
a web of strings.
Yeah, and then she could do her own thing with it at that point. But it's like a parcel of food that she could more easily eat.
Also, I'll be assisting him. It's like I'll just be bringing him stuff like you need meat. Like I open the fridge, I pull it out, and then I bring it.
Okay, so Fitzroy, make a cooking tools check with advantage because Nub is helping you. We'll see how
nice. Got my boy Nub. 21.
Yeah, so you think you've been traveling with Circass long enough to know what she likes, which is meat from sometimes sentient creatures. She has had many visitor to her web prior to coming aboard Illrigger with you.
It starts out that I give you advantage, but then once it starts cooking, the smell comes off. I give you disadvantage.
No, I want that.
Or what I'm doing is I'm taking a bowl and then I'm like holding it up for you, like
for table space. He's like a dog at the table.
I think
for food.
I think there would be a strategy because is my saucier there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you hanging out too? Okay. Well, then what we can do is I can have my sous chef cranking out like little items, and like I'm gonna need you to get these done as quick as possible. Every time you get one done, give it to Nub, and while he's eating it, we can get dinner done for the crew. Yeah. So
makes sense.
He'll produce a steady stream of Nub food, and I will try and get the main meal done for everyone else.
All right. So. Well, Chunder is definitely loving having you aboard because he's like, he's just enjoying the time off.
I want to say thanks to the crew because they got us away from the horrifying Neogi slaver that was behind us. So they're gonna eat good tonight.
They will. Okay. So yeah, if nobody's doing anything else unusual, so the ship does travel down a different flow river. Nobody really notices because it just all looks the same, and you're in the joint, which is what they call the crew lounge. Circass, did you want to remain on the top deck to watch for whatever this flow river leads to?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you're actually standing up there. Krex is up there too. He's a Starmancer, so it's interesting to him to see something new as well.
I have questions for him, but that can wait.
Okay. So the ship is traveling through the flow river, and it's like usually hard to tell how fast your ship is going, especially in the flow, because there's no real point of reference, and you're going what on Earth would be considered like millions of miles per hour. But eventually, make a perception check, Circass.
Oh, good. 9.
Killing
Okay.
it.
I rolled
So.
a 10. Just
So
for
yeah, you're
perspective.
just kind of like squinting all 8 of your eyes into the, to see ahead, and you don't really see anything, but you do detect a foul smell that begins emanating through around the ship, and
Oh,
It wasn't me.
probably
I don't believe you.
it was him. And before you notice it though, the ship actually approaches at great speed and then drops to tactical speed as it nears a what do you call it? Like an area where the phlogiston just stops. Like clearly, there's a line where the multicolored gas just ceases to be, and beyond that is a inky darkness and a wide flat circle. Except that not too far in the distance, you see like smaller blinking lights and a larger persistent glow as Krex next to you, he's kind of just like bounding up on his feet. He's just like, now this is something I have never seen before. It's like
Really?
I'm at the edge of my seat. I don't know what comes next. It's exciting, isn't it?
Extremely. It's beautiful.
So the ship does cross into the dark region. It unlike the feeling of kind of light and airiness in the phlogiston, you actually feel like a heaviness on you, and even down in the joint, everybody just kind of feels like, whoa, like I just feel like a heavy kind of pressure pushing down on you, and the ship is actually you hear people in the hallway kind of like scrambling around and some raised voices of alarm as people are running around the ship.
Grab the pig sticker and go looking for Nub Nub.
It's always right there.
I'm nearby, so
Okay, all right.
We're right next to you. I'm pushing okra pot stickers down his mouth as fast as he can. Probably a little bit faster than he can swallow them.
Yeah, he's just like,
stop. Just not eating. No. Like,
don't you always want food, Nub Nub?
How many can you fit in your mouth?
So it seems there's a little bit of disturbance as the crew are running around, and Randall is actually not moving the ship. It is moving of its own accord forward through this what is a super dense gravity area of this dark region of space.
Oh God.
Is that something that you can feel, like like a shift in the
yeah
movement?
oh yeah, as soon as like it
I would
crossed
come
over that
above
barrier, it's
deck.
like whoa. Yeah, so yeah, you're getting pretty close now, and you see that like this wide flat void, and kind of like if you were level with it you wouldn't see it, so you're kind of like up floating above it, but like it has the surface sort of, and down on that surface are just dozens and dozens, like a kind of a sea of little blinking lights. And Stan,
Oh, he bumped again. He'll be back.
uh,
There we go.
You're back
Oh.
now.
am I back now? Okay.
Yeah.
you're back.
So there's a sea of little blinking lights on the surface, and Stan, you actually detect like a mental, like a psychic energy from these things, kind of talking amongst themselves.
Oh, from all the
below
little
you
blinking
as
things?
you approach. Yeah, and then further in is just like a wide, almost sea of like a kind of like a luminescent part of the void that your ship is approaching of its own accord, being drawn there.
Curious and curious. It's
No, I've seen this episode.
Is this from something? If it's from something, it's totally a coincidence.
What's the danger? Like Nub can sense that everyone's on edge. Like, where's the danger? It's trying to.
I'm gonna say either Augustus. Actually, yeah, Augustus, make a history check or nature check, whichever you prefer.
Nature check. Never touch the stuff. 20.
So you actually feel the kind of like influence of your patron, who's just kind of like gloopily like quivering with anticipation as you near this thing, and you're recalling lore, or a myth about something called the undersea of fallen stars, which is like a kind of like well, you got 20, that's pretty high. So it's actually a shifting region of the phlogiston that touches upon realm space, where the Sea of Fallen Stars is one of the qualities or myths around that, is that it kind of is known to like draw ships down to a watery grave. But this is like the underside of it, planarly speaking, that you're approaching.
So we're below the watery grave of it?
Imagine, if you will, you went down to the bottom of a body of water, and then kept going through it, and then came out in space elsewhere.
Okay.
This is what the undersea is.
We
So I
just
don't think
have
we're
to
in
be
danger.
very quiet, and then it's not gonna notice us.
Yeah, it's actually a rare Phlogistonian phenomenon.
So we're being drawn into it? Is it in a dangerous
Just towards it. No, I mean, it's like an area of heavy gravity. That is what, kind of like exerting the gravity through space and time to Faerun is what pulls things down into the thing, and then they emerge here in the phlogiston.
Okay. Assuming he doesn't wiggle out of my grasp, I will grab Nub Nub and quickly trundle up onto the surface of the ship.
Yeah, when you're pulling me up, I got my little legs going like this.
his single jointed legs.
I'm definitely heading up above deck just to, I think for the time being, unless somebody looks like something is going down in somewhere, I'm just going to kind of watch this. It's crazy.
Sure.
I'll run up onto the to where the other warlocks are studying this. I'll run up next to them and go, "Oh man, can you feel it? Oh, it's glorious." And you notice that all the kind of weight on my face is pulled down by the gravity a little bit, so I'm kind of droopy.
Gross.
He's just
I'm gonna put a hand against the glass or
I can
whatever.
feel it all the way through me.
You're feeling the oozy goodness.
We should check it out. It's the fallen stars and the Farron and stuff like that.
Really?
The undersea.
It's the grave of ships. It's the bottom. Can you imagine what a way to go? Underwater forever and ever.
You know what this is?
Yeah, just dissolving into the phlogiston.
I don't
Good stuff.
dissolve. But I need this.
Is this dangerous? Should we be trying to go away from it?
I mean, dangerous is a.
Let's talk to the captain.
It probably is, but I need to go there.
Yeah.
I look over my shoulder at Stan.
And Stan, you actually get an answer from another mind that you don't recognize the voice, saying, telling you that it's not dangerous for you, but we are dying.
Let's dip this little teddy bear dude in there and see what happens.
No.
So everyone else hears me click my mandibles while I'm talking, but I'm talking directly to it. Is there something we can do to help you? You say you're dying. Of what?
So and as you're communicating, like the lights below the ship are kind of like blinking in tune with what they're saying, and these telepathic entities are telling you that they share the energy of the undersea with the Aldani who trolled the undershore. They say, but they tell you that the energy has been waning, and they are dying because they have no food coming from the great god Umami who dwells at the bottom of the undersea.
I'm going to repeat this to everybody, like exactly as best I can.
Sure.
Because I don't understand half of it, so maybe somebody else does.
Hungry.
Yes. And their god Umami has been silent for a long time.
I think we can solve that. I'm looking at Fitzroy.
You'll forgive me. I'm not familiar with that kind of cuisine.
Make either a religion or history check with advantage, Fitzroy.
Oh, we'll go with history advantage. 17.
You actually do recognize the name Umame. It's a planar entity. It is the goddess of the fifth taste. That is the ephemeral, undefinable taste
Sweet,
sensation.
salty, sour, and savory all at once.
Yes.
Not the fifth element, it's the fifth taste. You
Right.
got we all
The mystery taste.
four. Fifth one is a mystery.
Yes, and it is quite concerning from a culinary standing if the god of gustation is, or the goddess of gustation is in danger as well.
All
But
right.
it could be an excursion to see what it's all about too. It's up to you. I mean, it could make a great chapter in the book.
What do they eat?
Please, I need this. We need to go.
Yeah.
Imagine, Fitzroy, if we could save the goddess of umami, whatever it was.
Umami? Yeah.
Legendary fifth flavor.
Yes.
Stia Cass, you feel very strongly about this.
I do.
Very well. Stan, see what you can learn and try and figure out some course of action for us to help them.
Okay, so I'm gonna shove a whole bunch of images at the beings, basically to show like what type of creatures we are, because I just see them as winking stars.
Sure.
So like
They're
if
flumps.
there's, oh, okay, I know.
No, I said they're flumps.
Okay,
Oh,
If anybody was wondering.
okay. So I say, well, these we need to breathe. We need to, because they're talking about water and stuff. So
They
tell
tell
them.
you. They say, oh, the water from there is no the water from the Sea of Fallen Stars does not cross the barrier. But Umame dwells at the bottom of the undersea. They tell you that they've sent some of them, despite being weak, have descended down to the undershore to check, but they never came back. And they tell you that the Aldani people, which troll the shore, are cursed and forbidden to go down there, but they might be able to help you out more. But they tell you like they're very skittish. They might be afraid of you if you just approach them.
So I look around the crew and I'm thinking, we will send Fitzroy and Nub. Yes. Like after I look at everybody else, I'm like, yeah, I think a fluffy thing and a regular person that shouldn't scare them, right? Because I'm scared of Searcast, so I wouldn't want to send her.
I'm scared of Searcast too. In a good way though.
So I relay that to everybody. It seems that they need some assistance. They seem good-natured in general, but I would like to see them with my eyes as well. But their minds sound.
Is there some reason the bulk of us shouldn't go on this?
Oh, I just simply meant there seems to be some skittish creatures down there. So if we do all go, some of us should probably speak directly with these skittish creatures.
Do we know anything about them or what they look like?
Yeah, anybody can make a nature check or history with disadvantage. This is a rare.
I'm good with nature. All right. I'm not good with nature.
I have an 11. Oh,
17.
yes. Goodness.
A flump, it's like a pancake that farts all the time. It's one of the holy creatures of the multiverse, really, when you think about it. It's got a bunch of noodles that come off of it, and it floats around on gas.
It's true.
Well, that did not help at all.
It's one of the higher beings.
The flumps tell you though that you can drop anchor on the dark space itself. They're actually like resting on the ground, so you could actually like walk on the darkness.
Oh, well, I'll explain that to the captain that it seems to be solid below, and we can attach our anchors to a point. Just don't hit the light-colored things down there.
So the creatures we are supposed to be talking to in order to lend a hand here that are skittish are the flumps?
No, those are the little lights. The Aldani
Floaty pancakes
are the
that fart
cursed.
all the time.
Cursed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was the roll for the Eldani?
It could have been. I mean, if sure.
Because I don't know what those are. I know what a flint is.
Right. Well, the Aldani are actually a ancient race of mariners who kind of gathered creatures of the phlogiston for food to the point of extinction, and they were cursed by the gods to become the thing which they once hunted, and now they kind of just tend the shores of the undersea.
Do I can I get any kind of hint appearance wise what they look like? I mean, if they did bad things and their species is cursed now and they're skittish, that sounds like a perfect, like if that were an equation, it would add up to attack things they don't know as soon as they see it. Like, so I kind of don't want to just send 2 people.
Oh no!
Oh, I want to go for sure.
Let us all go down, but
Nub Nub is going.
Yeah.
and I send it directly to Fitzroy. Put Circass in the back. She's scary.
Wild horses couldn't keep me away.
Oh.
Nub, you should turn into like a big snake.
A snake. So it's about this time that Illyrir does come to a stop from being pulled by the gravity at the shores of the undersea, which you see is almost like you can see down into it. It's like a big cylinder that just opens in the darkness. And there's like a faint kind of soft bluish green glow. And looking down, you see like flotsam and jetsam sort of like floating around in this cylinder that goes down very far. You can't see a bottom or anything. But make a perception check.
15.
I mean,
Wow.
18.
20.
Good God. I suck.
What about you, Stan? You're muted.
I only got a 9.
Perception is 21.
Okay, so everybody but Augustus is kind of like looking down in here and looking over the shores, and you see what appear to be like, we'll say 6 to 7 foot tall lobsters sort of like trolling around the edge of where the cylinder starts. Like you peer and you're like, what am I looking at? And they actually look like lobsters, but their heads, it's like a human face from here down, and then they have like eye stalks like a lobster, and they're just kind of like poking around in the edge of the undersea, scuttling around, maybe like checking little traps, and like you see them picking up things and looking at it and stuffing it in a sack.
I'm looking straight at Circass. I think you should be in the front.
I am inclined to agree, but I don't like the smile on the
Prawns.
one's face.
Crawdads. Those are some big crawdads.
Yeah, Circass, Stan, I think the 2 of you need to lead the charge on this one, and we'll be right behind you. I'm gonna bring a crossbow with me for this.
Sure. Yeah, the ship has a weapons locker with all sorts of mundane weapons
Great.
on it, and Lauren's just like, man, some weird shit. He's like, but it's like, hey man, we'll keep the Spelljammer helm running. If you guys want to check it out, he's like, that's what your producers told me. This whole quest is all about, just exploring strange things, and it's about the strangest thing I've ever seen. I've been from one end of the vortex to the other.
Nub, if you would just stay absolutely glued to me. Those things are big and terrifying.
Sir, what infinite wisdom you have. Would you like me to glue him to you?
That literal interpretation is not necessary here.
His fur would make it very easy.
No. Let's keep all adhesives away from the Nub's foot. I'm gonna fall back in line. I'm gonna get behind Circass and Stan, and those 2 are gonna. I want them to take the lead here.
Okay. So yeah, you can climb down, and it's actually like a strange sensation, like stepping foot onto darkness. Circass, you actually feel like a little titillation there, like, ooh, I'm so close to the void. I'm standing on it. But it actually kind of feels like sand, and as you look closer, like, it actually is like black sand, like just a layer of it like a fine black granules of sand under your feet.
Handful of it.
Yeah, you can totally pick it up, stow some if you like.
I
Feels,
absolutely do that.
Wonderful, sliding across your chitinous hands, and you know, as you kind of like peer off to where you saw those Aldani, and now they're kind of like hiding in what you see. Like everything here, like it looks like you're on a beach, but everything is black. So there's like reeds and little plant life that's black, and just everything is black except for the Aldani, which are like lobsters. They're kind of reddish chitinous things, and they're kind of like scuttling around in the higher plant growth along the undershore. They're just like looking over in your direction.
Are any of the glowing mines that I contacted previously around? Or?
Yeah, they're kind of like just laying around on the beach, blinking in the darkness.
They're not doing so great.
No, they're not really moving. They're just kind of like weakened. What they normally do is kind of like feed off the psychic emanations drawn to here by Umame, but they have not been getting any in a while. But they do kind of feed off yours a little bit. It's not doing any damage, but they're like, you know, they kind of like blink a little brighter when you're nearby. Like, ooh.
Okay.
Doug, I want to form my familiar into a kind of a ball.
Okay.
And then kind of pull some little wings out from the side of him, and then throw him up in the air, and he's gonna stay flying above us,
Sure.
invisible. He like winks out.
Yeah, you can totally do that.
Sorry, he doesn't wink out. He turns into a clear fluid, and it becomes very hard to see him.
Yes.
Can I just grab? I've never seen plant life like this before. So can I just maybe snap up a couple samples while we're walking along?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and they look like, you know, they appear to be, you know, normal plant life, except that they are just all black. So they're like, you know, reeds and just tall grasses that you might see at a beach.
Okay, all right, yeah, sweet.
So do you walk towards the Albani? They're kind of like watching you. You know, they're not like aggressively. They're kind of like look like they're trying to hide, and also just kind of like they're not used to seeing people just pull up in a ship at the edge of oblivion.
I hold up all my hands so they know that I'm not holding a weapon.
I'm gonna follow suit.
Okay. Yeah, they kind of like shrink down and like skid her away a little bit, and like one of them like scuttles out towards you from the thing, and it like pushes like a big, like it actually just takes one of its sacks and just like dumps it out, and just like a bunch of coins and little doodads and trinkets like fall out into the beach, and then it just kind of like scuttles back a little bit.
I'm gonna like reach into my bag, pull out a couple coins, and throw them on the pile so they know we're not robbing them.
They kind of look at you like strangely, and just like push the stuff towards you and like back away a little bit.
We're not gonna hurt you.
I start grabbing the stuff while she says that.
Yeah.
Stan, no, put it all back down. Put everything back on.
I stop like halfway through. I'm like,
Stan, we're not here to take anything. We're here to give. Let's put everything back on the pile.
To us.
The one that pushed out's like, here to give?
Yes.
Here to give?
Yes, we're here to
I love
give.
that voice.
I make
It's
nice
hard to-
little stacks out of the stuff I took and put it back down.
All right.
Sirs, they think you're gods. Take whatever they give to you. They're offerings.
That is not what we are doing.
They're like,
Take advantage of the situation.
Let's see a cast talk, please. We're all going to get through this. It's going to be very friendly, and we're not going to take everything from the little delicious looking lobster people.
they're like, oh, we have tons of this stuff. That's what we do. It just comes through the undersea.
Well, waste not, want not in that case. But what do you need?
The fella tells you that he's like, the goddess Umami, she's been silent for so long. We haven't gotten her bounty. He's like, the flumps are dying. They're weak. And he says, we're forbidden from diving down into the undersea. He's like, if you can go and investigate, we'll share with you the secret of gustation.
I smile, just a very slow. Well, you know, as smiley as a spider can get, and I'm going to be like,
What did you say?
I say, show me.
Okay, well, I mean, they'll scuttle to the edge. And
Where
they
are you-
say, what was that?
Worry not. Nub Nub is on the case. And I like put the stick down like furiously and stuff. It's like very intimidating and very
Oh, yes.
his power that he
They
has.
actually do kind of like, just by the show of force, they're kind of like scuttle back, like, don't hurt us.
Five.
No,
no,
They dump more treasure out. They're just like,
No,
Yeah.
Nub Nub is here to help. He is a champion. He is a warrior, a hero.
What can I say? I have my presence. Just like I come here and then just people are naturally afraid of me. I have to assuage people's fears.
they actually
so
do.
disgusting looking.
The fur and the.
You should turn into the mighty giant blobfish, king of the seas.
I'm gonna addressing Searcast. Searcast, what exactly are we supposed to get up to here? They want us to go for a dip?
I believe so. We should find out what's happening with their goddess and help her if we can. And I have my own reasons for wanting to investigate the below.
I can't exactly breathe underwater.
They're like, it's like water.
It's not water. All right, I'm game.
Stick my head in there and see if like it's breathable.
Yes, it's actually, as you do too, you feel as your head, like whatever part of your body crosses like the shore, so to speak, actually feels like incredibly light. And you, like I said, you see like different pieces of flotsam and jetsam just kind of like floating aimlessly in this deep cylinder.
Don't
I
worry,
pop
I
back
would.
out. So go ahead.
I turn into a quipper fish and then jump in, and
Okay.
then because it's not water, I can't breathe. So I'm like,
Yes, but you are floating aimlessly within the cylinder, and it is a zero gravity area.
Yo, Doug.
Yes.
Cannonball.
Sure. Make a athletics or acrobatics check. The DC is 10.
I'm willing to accept my backup plan of belly flop. DC of 10. I get a 5. Belly flop.
Yep. So you do, and you just kind of like you think you're gonna hit the surface, but you actually just go below it and are just floating, and the momentum from your thing is just like kind of moving you downwards into the cylinder, towards like one of the pieces of flotsam, which you kind of like sploosh against, and it like bounces you off, so your trajectory changes. So now you are just traveling laterally.
I will pull my head back out for a moment, and I'm going to be like, "It is wonderful in there," and then merge into the rest.
All right.
I
What is it?
I take the grappling hook out and hook it onto something, and start reeling the.
An accident. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oddly enough, you can actually hook it onto the edge of the shore. It appears that like the cylinder pit is just like maintained by some kind of invisible force, so you kind of like hook it into the sand on the edge of the thing, if you like. But climbing down, you're just like within a second, you're just like horizontal as the rope's just kind of like floating up in zero gravity.
I don't know what to expect, so I was just like, this is like a safety measure just in case
Sure.
the world works that way correctly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And does I guess this isn't. What about Fitzroy and Nub Nub is in there already? Fitzroy, you're standing on the edge of the undershore with your friends floating around, and the goddess Umame dwelling below.
I'm probably because
It's
I
the
can't
secret
breathe
of taste, man.
because I can't breathe as a fish. I'm probably gonna be an octopus.
Okay.
The giant octopus actually can hold its breath quite.
Yes, and you can also kind of like grapple yourself down downwards with the flotsam and jetsam if you like.
No, could I have hang out tentacle? And I'll just kind of step into this stuff and reach out to. I'm gonna hold on to Nub Nub. You're in charge of my life right now.
All right. So yeah, a spongy tentacle reaches up and suckers wrap around your leg.
I can't talk, but I give it a pleasant ink like and like. I'll see you.
All right. So
that's good.
So yeah, as the team floats downwards in a zero gravity cylinder hole in the middle of space, we'll wrap it up and pick up there next time with Ingest Quest.
2
And
hours
I'd like
gone
to
already.
Yep. And I'd like to thank everybody that was watching us and that might watch later. And huge thanks to my players for making the game super easy and fun. And we will see you next time on Ingest Quest.
Yes. Until next time, stay nerdy.
See ya.